Many people interpreted that to mean samatha and vipassana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because stopping, they explain to me, keeping the mind still on the object.
Right.
And seeing the three characteristics of seeing the individual essence of things. If it means relinquishing, then vipassana can also be called relinquishing. Then we have no samatha in this case. Yeah, because this last tetrad deals with vipassana only, pure vipassana, not samatha. So the four tetrads, the first one deals with what? Samatha meditation, because the commentary explains the four attaining of jhanas, and then only after attaining jhanas one can change to vipassana. And then the second and the third deal with what? Both samatha and vipassana. See, because they pertain to jhana.
Jhana.
Yeah.
Right.
And the fifth, only vipassana. So there is no jhana here. The fourth, there is no jhana here. So the fourth deals only with vipassana. And this fourth deals with what? The fourth of the foundations of mindfulness, Dhammanupassana. So four tetrads, the first deals with contemplation on body, second on feeling, third on consciousness, and the fourth on Dhamma. And this fourth deals with pure insight, vipassana only. But the other three deal with samatha and both samatha and vipassana.
But it's not necessary to go to the jhanas to get.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it is not necessary. And many modern authors tend to de-emphasize jhanas. And one author says that since jhanas are not mentioned in this order, they are not important. But when we study a soda, then we have to follow the tradition. So tradition or the commentaries explain these four tetrads as dealing with samatha and vipassana, and jhana and vipassana. And four jhanas are mentioned in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, although they are not mentioned in the Anapanasati Sutta. So there are two suttas in the whole of Pali Canon that deal with breathing meditation and other mindfulness meditation. So in the Anapanasati Sutta, no jhanas are mentioned, but these passages are from that sutta. And so these passages are explained with reference to jhana and vipassana in the ancient commentaries. So you cannot say that you do not find jhanas in these two suttas. So in the Anapanasati Sutta, jhanas are not mentioned explicitly, but they are implied. But in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, jhanas are mentioned when Buddha defined the Noble Eightfold Path. So we cannot say that jhanas are put into the canon later. We have no proof of that. We may carelessly say that anything which we don't like is an interpolation, is added by monks or something like that. But there can be no definite proof that a portion of the soda is put into it later. Who knows? So it is important to study such sodas with the help of the ancient commentaries, and it's safe to follow them rather than going away from them and interpreting in a way one likes and not following the ancient tradition. Now conclusion. So, in the footnotes on page 315, through substitution of opposite qualities and so on, there is some explanation about the abandonment or the relinquishment or giving up. Now, about the middle of the footnote, and the giving up in this way is in the form of inducing non-occurrence. Now, when we say that, let us say, the path, magga, eradicates defilements, we do not mean that it really eradicates defilement. What it meant is, it doesn't let the defilements to come up again. So non-occurrence. Because the present defilements cannot be destroyed because they are already in our minds. And the past are already past and we don't have to do anything about them. They are already gone. And the future things are not yet come. So what the magga or the path eradicates is not the present or not the past or not the future defilements. But the eradication of the magga rendered them, what do you call that? Inoperative or non-arising. So they will not arise again. It is like destroying the potential of things. So it talks about it here. And this subject will be picked up later, about towards the end of the book. And in paragraph 239, second line, we have the words clear vision and deliverance. Here, clear vision means path, magga. And deliverance means fruition, phala. Okay, then. And then the benefits of this kind of meditation, they are all of them come from the same sutta, Anapanasati Sutta. And then the story of how a monk who was an arahant and who practiced mindfulness of breathing meditation and who became an arahant, how he knew when he would die, and then he asked his companions how they had seen an arahant attain nibbana, and some say in a sitting position. Then he said, I will show you. he was going to die. He knew the very moment he was going to die, and so I will die or I will enter nibbana walking. So he made it lying in the ambulatory, right? And then he said, I will go to the end of this space, and then when I come back and cross the line, I will die then. And he did die as he said. So those who practice anapanasati meditation can even know when their life force will be stopped, or when they are going to die. So this is also the benefits of anapanasati meditation. And in paragraph 241, there is explanation of three kinds of finals, the final in becoming, final in jhana, and final in death. And with regard to final and death, there is a saying that that is why there are final ones and jhana. Those that arise along with the 16th consciousness preceding the death consciousness cease together with the death consciousness. Now, there are four kinds of material properties, four kinds of matter. Those caused by karma, those caused by citta or mind, those caused by climate, and those caused by food. Those caused by karma must disappear at the same moment as the death consciousness. So at the last moment of death consciousness, they must also disappear, because the material properties caused by mind cannot live after the moment of death. So what we call life, or what is translated as vital principle or vital life, means that karma-born quality in the material properties. So that karma-born quality in the material properties must die with the death consciousness, or must disappear with the death consciousness. Now, the life of a material property is 17 times that of the life of a consciousness. Consciousness lasts for only one big moment or three small moments. So the material property lasts for 17 big moments, 17 big thought moments. Since the vital principle must dissolve or disappear at the last sub-moment of death consciousness, it must have arisen how many moments before? 16 moments before. So 16 plus death moment, 17 moments. So at the end of 17th moment, the life principle must disappear. That is why here the preceding 16th consciousness preceding the death consciousness. If you want to read more about it, you can read it in the 6th chapter of the Manual of Abhidhamma. When different material properties finally disappear in a life. So now we go to recollection of peace. Recollection of peace really means recollection of Nibbana. So one who wants to develop the recollection of peace mentioned next to mindfulness of breathing should go into solitary retreat and recollect the special qualities of Nibbana. In other words, the stilling of all suffering as follows. Because insofar as there are dhammas, whether formed or unformed, that means conditioned or unconditioned, fading away is pronounced the best of them. So fading away is the best of them. That is to say, the disillusionment of vanity, the elimination of thirst, the abolition of reliance, the termination of the round, the destruction of craving, fading away, cessation, nibbana. These words will be explained. Herein, insofar as means as many as. Dhammas means individual essences. Now, there's a footnote about Dhamma and a long footnote here. Footnotes give me headache. Because I have to find the passages in the commentaries and then check with them the translation. And then sometimes it's very difficult to translate them, the way they are written. And one problem is English is not my mother tongue, so it's not so easy. Now, Dhamma comes from the root dhar, D-H-A-R. That means to hold. So, Dhammas, in such passages as Dhammas that are concepts, even a non-entity is thus called a Dhamma. The word Dhamma can mean anything in the world, including Nibbana. Even the concepts are called Dhammas. Why are they called Dhammas? Because they are born and affirmed by knowledge. They are they are carried or they are upheld, something like that. That kind of Dhamma is excluded by his saying Dhamma means individual essence. So when it is said that Dhamma means individual essence, then the other one wanted to exclude concepts from being called Dhamma here. So here Dhamma means those that have individual essence and not concepts. Now, that kind of Dhamma is excluded by his saying Dhamma means individual essence. The act of becoming, which constitutes existingness in the ultimate sense, is essence. It is with essence. Thus, it is an individual essence. Now, the Pali word sabhava, this word is also an important word. Here, sabhava is defined. First, bhava is defined. Bhava means becoming. The act of becoming is bhava. And something which is with this act of becoming is called sabhava. So bhava, the act of becoming, means existingness in the ultimate sense. That means having the three moments of existence: arising, aging and disappearing. So such things are called sabhava because they are with bhava. So in this word, sa means with and bhava means the act of becoming, that is, let us say, existence. So which have their own existence, they are called sabhava. In other places, or in the footnote itself, sabhava is explained in another way. There, sa means one's own, and bhava means the essence or something like that. So sabhava means one's own essence or one's own nature. Or it means common essence or common nature. So sabhava can mean different things in different contexts. If it is used as a substantive, then it means something that has its own becoming or that has existence in the ultimate sense. Something that has existence. In other places, it may mean just one's individual nature or individual essence or common essence, common nature. There are two kinds of nature, individual and common. Suppose I am a Burmese. So Burmese-ness is my individual essence. And I am a human being. And this is my common essence, common with the other beings. So something like that. So sabhava can mean these things. here, so we should translate not individual essences, some things which have individual essence. Here, not essence. What is essence? This is an abstract noun, right? Essence. It doesn't mean a substantive thing. No. So, something which has individual essence, or some things which have individual essence are called dhammas here. And whether formed or unformed and so on, they are whether conditioned or unconditioned. And the long footnote. So individual essence consisting in, say, hardness as that of the earth, or touching as that of contact, is not common to all dhammas. The generality is the individual essence common to all, consisting in impermanence and so on. So, suppose we have earth element, right? Earth element has individual essence and general or common essence. Its individual essence is hardness or softness. So hardness or softness is the individual essence of earth element, not shared by other elements and dhamma. But it is impermanent. So its impermanence is the common or general essence of it. So in this way, we can have the specific or individual essence and general essence. And with regard to time, in the footnotes, he quotes Mulatika. Though time is determined by the kind of consciousness, about the middle of page. For example, as specified in the first paragraph of the Dhammasangani, and its non-existence as to individual essence, yet as the non-entity before and after the moment in which those co-nascent and co-present dhammas occur, it is called the container adhikarana. It is perceived, symbolized only as a state of a receptacle adhara bhava. Yeah? I wonder whether he understood it. Now, first, we have to have a little knowledge of Abhidhamma. So in the Abhidhamma it is said, on such an occasion, or at such a time, let us say, the first kusala ceta arises. Now, at such a time, the word, at such a, in English the words, right? In Pali one word. So, the words are put in the locative case. At, on, or in, locative case. Now, why is here, let me say, the Pali word is the use is samaya, and samaya can mean time, or it can mean occasion. So let us take time. It means time. So why is time the location of consciousness? So he's going to explain this. Receptacle and container just means location. So time is non-existent according to Abhidhamma. So, though time is determined by the kind of consciousness and is non-existent as to individual essence. So according to reality, time has no existence. So time is non-existent. But it is determined by the ceta. That means the time when a given ceta arises. So it is determined by the ceta. Yet as the non-entity, so the following are not so good. So why can time be the location of ceta? Time is non-existent, and how can it be the location of ceta? So the answer is, when a consciousness arises, Before it arises, there is nothing. And after it dissolves, there is nothing. But when it is during the three phases of existence, it is called existing. So at that time, the consciousness is in existence. So time is said to be a location or receptacle of the consciousness. Actually, there is no time. Time is not existent or not existing according to ultimate reality. Although it is non-existent, it can be. It is said to be the location of Cheda, because before the arising of Cheda, there is no Cheda, and after the dissolution of Cheda, there is no Cheda. So that is why time is said to be a location for Cheda. And Buddha said at such a time, the first Kusala Cheda arises and so on.
Would the same hold true for space also?
Space is also mentioned. Yeah, space and time are said to be non-existent according to Abhidhamma. So the translation itself is not correct here. You need to be very familiar with the language, because there are words that looks the same, but you have to understand differently. So bhava and abhava. The word abhava is misunderstood here. He translated as non-entity, and it gives the word abhava. But what it means is just non-existent. So the time can be the location or receptacle of Cheda, because before the arising or after the dissolution of Cheda and its concomitants, they do not exist. So it is like a reference, right? The Cheda arises at this time or at that time. So sabhava. Now, and then in the text itself, explanation of different words. Now, fading away and disillusionment of vanity and so on. And in the explanation of these, the words on coming to it are used. On coming to it, they are relinquished or they fade away and so on. So on coming to it really means on account of it, or on taking it as object. Now, fading away is not nibbana, but nibbana is described as with the words which can mean fading away. The word Pali viraga is used here, and other words too. So viraga is simply translated as fading away. But the act of fading away is not nibbana. Nibbana is not fading away. Nibbana is something. Nibbana, although it has no existence, it is. So nibbana is something. And when Magga Chitta arises, it eradicates mental defilements. So it makes mental defilements fade away. But it arises only when it takes nibbana as object. If it does not take nibbana as object, it cannot arise. So nibbana is a condition for the Magga Chitta, path consciousness, to arise. So nibbana is said to be instrumental in in making defilements fade away by path, by magga. So it is to understood in this way, all these words. Not just fading away and then termination of the wrong, and what are the other words? Extinction of something. Whenever it is said, it means Nibbana is instrumental in extinction of suffering, something like that. Serenity of conceit and so on. So they are to be understood in that sense. That is, just fading, not just fading away is Nibbana, but Nibbana is something which is instrumental in making defilements fade away by magga. And there is one something like change of lineage. Do you see the word change of lineage somewhere?
Mm-hmm. Middle of the footnote.
Middle of the footnote?
Yeah, of course.
On page 318.
318.
Yeah. Now, what the author, the author of the sub-commentary was saying is that change of lineage, that immediately precedes the moment of path. And that data is called change of lineage. And that data takes Nibbana as object. Right? So Nibbana, which is to be realized by, or which is to be seen by the moment of change of lineage, must be one that has the profundity surpassing the nature of belonging to 3 periods of time. Nibbana is timeless. Nibbana does not belong to the present or past or future. So, in order for Nibbana to be realized by change of lineage, it must not belong to any of the three periods. That is what is meant there. Okay, now we come to the end of Upasamasati. So there are other descriptions of Nibbana, and you find them on page 320. Bhikkhus, I shall teach you the unformed, the true, the other sure, the hard to see, the undecaying, the lasting, the undiversified, the deathless, the auspicious, the safe, the marvelous, the intact, the unafflicted, the purity, the island, the shelter. And then there are more in the Samyutta Nikaya. So you can pick up some positive words from this and say that Nibbana is also a positive state. And then benefits of the practice of the contemplation on Nibbana or contemplation on peace. Okay, this comes to the end of this chapter. 8th chapter. So, this is the end of this class, and we'll have break for about a month.
Almost a month. The first Thursday in July, we'll meet back here.
Thursday in July.
Bring all your friends. And we'll begin on the foreground of the hearts.
Oh yes, yeah. Interesting subjects. Okay.
Thank you very much once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.